Yay! All right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you live. We're trying this. YouTube has changed their software, and OBS for some reason wasn't. I don't know what happened. This is the fourth time I'm trying to stream this. I wanted to Hangout toolbar chat turns the chat on and off. We're live. I wanted to, let's see here. Can I invite share a permanent link? I don't want to do that. I don't want to share my screen, a camera, control room, Hangout toolbox. I'm just looking at stuff. I don't know what this is doing. Bear with me, guys, as I get this. I'm not even sure if anybody's. Oh, there's the link. That's what I want. Okay. I want a link. There we go. There's the link. I want to copy that. That'll send you people to there. And you'll be able to see me chatting. So I'm going to turn that off. I don't want Discord popping up. So to start this over again for the fourth time, we are talking about, I wanted to just go live and talk about Fantasy Grounds Unity. Dave had done a live chat with the gentleman behind Smiteworks, talking about the new Unity interface for Fantasy Grounds, and I just wanted to go over it a little bit. And if you're watching or if you're in the chat, please pop in and say hi. Much appreciated. Let's see. I think, can I video embedded? Yeah, I think I just want everybody on YouTube. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's see if I go here. What can I do here? No, I don't want to do any of that. So I can just leave that there. I guess it's not hurting anything. Anyway, so Friday night, the Smiteworks did their live cast for their Fantasy Grounds, and Dave is a avid broadcaster and runs many games on Fantasy Ground. And Smiteworks wind up hiring him, which I think is super awesome. But anyway, they talked a lot. Almost the whole hour. They talked about Unity Fantasy Grounds, the upcoming Kickstarter that's going to launch May 1st. And one of the things that the big question that a lot of people had is my current content. What will happen to it if I upgrade to the new Unity version of Fantasy Grounds? Well, the answer is it's all going to transfer over. So everything will carry over. You won't have to, apparently, if I understood it right, you will not have to rebuy anything. Everything will be okay. All the content and everything that you've purchased will carry over, and everything will be fine. The other neat thing they're doing is they're going to have a pre-purchase program, meaning if you've already bought, if you currently own a license to Fantasy Ground, you're going to fall into one of three pay categories in order to upgrade. And what that means is that if you bought Fantasy Ground between 2019 and 2018, you're going to fall into either standard or ultimate. Ultimate, of course, is, you can host games. Nobody else needs a license. You can cover everybody. And then you have your standard license, which is just a single license, which usually is what you buy to play games. So if you paid your $149 like I did, and you bought the ultimate license, you can upgrade for an extra $30, and that will get you the new Unity upgrade. If you're a standard license holder, you can upgrade for $35, but you had to have bought it within 2018, 2019. So you have to be pretty current. I think I fall into that category. I'm not quite sure. I think I bought it in 2018. If you bought it between 2006 and 2017, then they have a veterans program, which you'll pay $60, and that will get you the upgrade. I think this is extremely fair. I think it's a good price model. I really like it. It's awesome. So there's going to be a veteran discount for people who currently own it, and then there'll be the new people, that can buy it right off the bat. No matter how you buy it, you will be given access to the beta access, and then there will be, I guess, a couple of tiers that will have access to the alpha. And of course, those that don't know, alpha and beta access are just what they sound like. There will be features and implementations that may or may not work. There'll be some bugs, and why you're testing it as an alpha or a beta tester is to see what works and what doesn't work. And I think that is awesome. That is really really cool. So anyway, that's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. And that the official release they're planning on, and of course Kickstarter, there's always bugs and things that happen where things don't work out. They're shooting for a December 2019 release. So that'll be here before you know it. So we could be up and running probably as early as maybe August, October, September, October with the betas. And I'm interested in trying that out. So that's what I wanted to make everybody aware of. I hadn't done a video last week. My wife has been very sick. She had the flu. My son had a really bad cold, possibly even the flu, although he was running a fever. So we're not quite sure. But either way, we wanted to get that out there and let people know, because I think Fantasy Ground is awesome. I'm currently running an Esper Genesis game in Fantasy Ground. We have 5 phenomenal players who most of them are active on the Esper Genesis Discord channel. Zen, Togashi Joe, Agahitex, is on there as well sometimes. So definitely go over to there, check out Discord. I'm on Discord. There's a link to my Discord channel off of my YouTube page, so you can check that out. What else? I'm on ZellyPay. If you'd like, we'll get a little housekeeping out of the way. I'm on ZellyPay. If you'd like to contribute to the channel and get a shout out on the channel, you are more than welcome to send me funds via Zelly, ZELLE.com. Or ZellyPay.com, I believe, and to send me money through, and you can do it through your mobile phone. There's actually a app. Your banking institution has 9 out of 10 of them have ZellyPay included, and it's free. The nice part is it's almost instantaneous. If you send me the money at 10 o'clock, I get it by 10:30, sometimes sooner. And the nice part is there's no fees. There's no fee to you. There's no fee for me to download the money. It is directly deposited into my account from your account, no extra strenuous fees, and you're helping out the channel, you're helping out Mr. Mean, you're putting food on the table so I can feed my little monster, because man, let me tell you, he doesn't stop eating, which is awesome because he's getting big and strong and healthy. So yeah, no videos last week because dealing with a whole sick family and taking care of everybody. I wanted to also talk about, and hopefully I will do my live chat with James Gantry over at Feral Games Inc. on Wednesday, where we talk about various things in the gaming industry and things we like or we don't like. Hopefully this week is going to be, we're going to pick on Monty Cook and Numenera. They've got on Drive-Thru RPG right now, they've got a PDF for $100, $99.99 for a PDF RPG. I don't care. Stupid. But we're going to rant about that on Wednesday. So if you want to check that out and you want to join in the discussion, add your 2 cents, feel free to join us. James is a little more savvy with all of this live casting than I am, but we're going to do it via Google Hangouts. You'll be able to jump into the chat and chit chat with us, and we'll talk about it. What I wanted to talk about today was what I feel is, and this is my opinion, disclaimer, and I'm not picking on any company. I don't dislike any of the companies I'm going to talk about, but the misuse of Kickstarter. Companies like Modifius, Ulysses Spiel, Savage Worlds, Pinnacle Entertainment. I don't think they should be on Kickstarter. And the reason is, if you're Monty Cook and you put your name on a book, it's going to sell. if you are, Pinnacle Entertainment, it's going to sell. If you're Ulysses Spiel, it's going to sell. And the reason I say that is not a good, this is not a good platform for them, is they are raking in money that they are taking from small press publishers and indie press guys and small developers. And we as consumers are just being downright lazy. It's really what it boils down to. The fact that they're misusing Kickstarter as a lazy, easy way to garner money, and we're being lazy because we don't want to go to the game store and buy the book sitting on the shelf. It used to be 10 years ago, there was no Kickstarter. You would go to your local game store every week and you would look to see what's new and you would try to buy it. Or buy it if there was a copy there, or the person behind the counter would say, "Hey, John, there's this new game coming out. I think you'd really dig it. Check it out. I'm going to have copies in on Tuesday. Pop in Tuesday if you can. I'll put one behind the counter for you." And you would look at it and go, "Ooh," or you'd go, "It's not my cup of tea," or whatever, and you'd buy it. And it made getting out of the house, that weekly trek to the game store, go out, get a cup of coffee with your friend, go to the game store, a little social time. That's what you did. Now we've become a society of ease. We go on Amazon.com for just about anything. Our local company here called Shopco is going out of business. And I talked with one of the owners, and she told me blatantly, Amazon's putting us out of business. We may sell it, and they sell a lot of their stuff cheaper than Amazon, but the difference is I don't have to leave my house to go get it. I don't have to drive in the snow on the slippery roads, because I live here in northern Minnesota, where we got I think we got over 100 inches of snow this year, and we're not done. They're forecasting snow for possibly Thursday, Friday of this week. So the snow's not done. It's shitty to get out in that weather and drive in that bitter cold and everything, when I can just click a button and it comes right to my house. Let the mailman deal with the cold. I don't have to. And while that's a good thing for people who are handicapped or maybe older or can't take the cold that well, I get it. I get it. Totally. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a lazy thing in some areas. I'm almost 52 years old. I am in pretty decent physical shape, and I'm healthy. I can go to the store. I can go physically buy stuff. I go to Shopco at least twice a week, or once or twice a month, I should say, to buy little things that I need around the house. I buy it from Shopco. Now, do I buy stuff off of Amazon? Indeed, all of the time. I buy a lot of game stuff because I don't have a good game store here. I have 3 game stores, and none of them carry modern games. None of them carry what's new and hot, and I don't blame them. They can't afford to. They sell Magic, and they sell D&D, and maybe a little Pathfinder and Warhammer 40K, because that's what sells, and they need to make money. They need to feed their families. Doesn't help me, forces me to go. And they're like, "Oh, well, you can pre-order anything." Well, I can do that on Amazon, and I don't have to come into your store, and so I'm not happy with my local game stores. I'm just not. And that's just, it is what it is. I'm spoiled. When I lived in Northern California and I went to the game stores there, or like Oakland, to the game store there, they were amazing. They had a plethora of selections and things that I could get, and stuff was cool. And it was on a counter or a shelf, and I could see it. I could demo games. I could play games. They had areas for me to play. They didn't charge me. A new thing Dungeons End is doing now, which I think is utterly shite, is they're charging people to use their rooms. They have all this space, and I honestly believe the reason they're doing it is to drive out the tabletop gamers. They don't, unless you're playing Warhammer or Magic or Pokemon, they don't want you in the store. That's how I feel. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's how I feel. I had my local meetup group. We were playing Scum and Villainy, tabletop RPG, indie press game. And my players got there before I did. And the owner of the store came in and told them they had to buy, in order to use the room, and it's a closet basically, but in order to use that room and its facilities, they had to buy $5 in store product, be it food or whatever. And Here's the bad part. I tell all my players, hey, if you can buy a soda or you can buy some munchies or whatever, or if you play Magic, buy a pack of cards or whatever, support the store because I think it's important. I'm all for supporting my local game store if they're providing me a place to play. But I think telling people that you have to buy product in order to use this room, I think is wrong because I'm unemployed. You want me to come in your store and run games and play games, but unless it's the games you want me to play, you're going to make me pay. Screw you. I don't need your store. So I probably will not buy or peruse Dungeons End anymore. So I was really offended that my players, and they didn't tell me until afterwards. And I think because they knew I was going to be pissed. And the problem is I talked to the owner before and said, hey, every week, we're meeting here. Room number 4 is the smaller of the rooms they have. Can we use it? Can we reserve it? And he's like, yeah, sure. He goes, just be aware. And I mean, he told me up front, if we have a Magic tournament or if we have a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament or, a 40K tournament and I need the space, I'll have to boot you out. Totally understand. I'm okay with that because for the three weeks that I went there, they had tournaments. They had a Magic release. No one was in that room. They had enough people. And of course, there's 2 other game stores in the area that also do Magic. So I understand if he was the only store and everyone was piling in there, I wouldn't expect to get a room. So it's a nice game store. They never have anything new. They do carry some of the D&D stuff, but that's really about it. Their focus is on Magic. They make their money on Magic. They sell a couple card games, and then when the enthusiasm dies down, it goes on a back shelf, never to be highlighted again. And to be honest, in all fairness, I'm going there to spend money, full retail. You should make it as inviting as you can for me to come in there and spend money. The problem is with stores like that, they make so much money off of Magic and 40K. They don't have to cater to those indie press guys or those guys that are playing that old 20-year-old card game or, playing the non-D&D RPG. They don't care because they don't carry the product, 1, to sell me, and 2, they've got more room for their diehard fans and their Magic players and their D&D, and that's fine. I will take my money somewhere else. So I have a pet peeve with that. It's uninviting. It's a disservice to the hobby. And let's face it, there are no games without game masters. Those 2 guys that are in my Scum and Villainy game don't go into the store. They don't buy anything from that store because they were so offended that they had to spend $5. Now, I don't know how the owner told them they had to do it. I wasn't there. Because the 2 times before that I was there and I ran games, I got there before them and they just showed up. I was in the room. I told the guy behind the counter, hey, the meetup group is in room 4. And they just sent them back to room 4 and all was good. Never once was I told, oh, you need to come up with money. And so the 3rd time when I got there late because I was running errands with my wife and stuff and we got stuck just out and about, he goes that opportunity to go in there and hit them up for cash, which I think is shitty. I'm sorry. I think it's not cool. So and on top of that, 90% of the time when I go there, they don't have anything I want to buy anyway. So I'm just going to go to Amazon or buy directly from the manufacturer's website. The only reason I go there is to get the Game Trade magazine, and I've got a store in Wisconsin that's right across the bridge from me who is now saving me a copy. So I have no more need to go into Dungeons End ever because they just don't carry any current product. Another pet peeve is if you go to their website, they say that, well, if you go to Paizo's website and you look for authorized stores, they're an authorized store. And if you look under Paizo's verbiage, an authorized store is a store that carries their full line of products. So when the Pathfinder 2.0 playtest was coming out, I didn't want to buy it off of Amazon. I wanted to support my local store. I went down there and the owner of the store looked me in the face and says, no, we don't carry it. We're not going to carry it. And I looked at him really confused because I said, Paizo's website says you're carrying it. And he just blew me off. Didn't care. He goes, well, we can special order it. I said, well, I don't want it special order. I want it now. The book is out now. I want to buy it. It's a short-term play test. I'm willing to give you money, and if I'd have known they weren't going to carry it, I would have just ordered it off of Amazon and been done with it. Luckily, it happened to be the next day I had to go to work. And I at the time when I was working, I worked right down the street from Level Up Games, which is in Wisconsin. And I was working in Wisconsin. So I went over to Level Up and they had 15 copies brand new with all the stuff, all the extra stuff. And they hooked me up and he gave me a 10% discount. Ridiculous. And they're not even listed on Paizo's website. The other Dungeons End is listed, and the owner of the store told me, "Oh, we don't carry. We can special order whatever you want. We don't carry it." Well, first of all, gamers are a fickle lot. We go into a game store to buy stuff. That's the concept. You have a retail store, you're selling product. So if you're not carrying, so I did my consumer due diligence and I emailed Paizo and said, look, this store doesn't carry your product. They carry a bunch of old used material that they've bought from other people, but you can't even buy the core book for Pathfinder First Edition there. They don't have it. They have a couple of outdated modules and they have some used product, and that's all they have for Pathfinder. That's it. That to me is ridiculous. If you're going to be listed as a reseller of a company's product, you should carry their product. And so it miffed me. Oh, I was pissed. Because I fully expected to go in. I went on the web and said, hey, Dungeons End carries the full line of Paizo products. Sweet. Now, granted, maybe in all fairness, I could have called beforehand and said, hey, you guys have the new Pathfinder 2.0 playtest? And they would have said, no, but we can special order. And you know what? I might have been tempted to actually place the special order because they are good about special orders and you don't have to pay for them until they come in, which is nice. I'm always willing to pay for a pre-order up front because obviously I want it and I have the money right then and there. In this case, I got laid off shortly thereafter. I couldn't have bought it if I would have pre-ordered it. And I felt bad having the store pre-order something that I can't afford to pay for. Because now they've got a product in that they spent their money on and it's going to sit on a shelf and it may not possibly sell. Now, the pisser is that people had to go to Dungeons End, had to go to Level Up Gaming in order to buy the playtest for Pathfinder, and then we're playing it. There were 3 groups that I know of that were running the playtest at Dungeons End. I was one of them. But I got laid off and I had to stop running it because I didn't have the gas to keep going back and forth and stuff. I have other priorities. So just weird to me that, you would do that. And Kickstarter is kind of in that same boat. I know I got off on a tangent and I apologize. But Kickstarter is for indie press, for guys like me that want to put out a game or a widget, whatever, and have you and don't have the operating capital to bring this product to fruition. That's what Kickstarter is. You're kickstarting it. You're giving this company the needed funds to order to go find a production facility or a printing facility or whatever to do their product and to make it. And maybe they've already got the design. They just need a little help in paying for the art or paying for, the 3D program or whatever. And so that's where you do your pitch to Kickstarter. And then if people like what they see and they are intrigued by it, they do it, they back it. And then, hopefully it comes to fruition. But these companies like Pinnacle and Ulysses Spiel and Monty Cook, I don't feel that they necessarily need to be on Kickstarter. I think it's a disservice to us, the consumer. And of course, we vote with our dollar. We make our presence known by the almighty dollar. But again, I see the attraction. The flip side is, here's a game by Monty Cook coming out. I really like Monty Cook's game, so I want to back it. And you mean to tell me I can throw money through my credit card through a website and I don't have to leave my house? I get it. I get the appeal of that. But I think it's unfair to all those hundreds of other publishers that they will never get their game looked at or their product, whatever it may be, looked at because I've already spent my money on Monty Cook's website or Monty Cook's Kickstarter or whoever, Ulysses Spiel, Savage Worlds, whatever. I've already spent my money there on Pinnacle. So I'm not going to go look at that guy who may have an equally cool game that I would be interested in and want to back if I'd have known about it. But because it's Monty Cook and it gets highlighted on the website, on the Kickstarter page as games they like, and they're not stupid. Don't think it's games they like. They probably don't know what the hell he makes. They know his name and they know that he's going to bring in a lot of money. Remember, Kickstarter gets about 7% of the total haul of what you make on Kickstarter. So they're making their money. And so they're obviously going to promote things that they think are going to sell well because they want to make money. It's a business. It's not a charity. So, and like I said, James and I are going to get a little more in depth on this, hopefully on Wednesday when we do our live stream. But I just wanted to bring that up to, maybe take a moment, think about what you're backing on Kickstarter. Do they need the money? Do you need the game that fast? Because let's face it, nowadays with Kickstarter, the way it's been going, you don't get the product any sooner than the people who go to the game store and buy it off the shelf get it. You may get it a day or two early, maybe even a week. With Amazon now getting real big into RPGs and books, you can pre-order it on Amazon and get it probably within the same week that the Kickstarter people are getting their stuff, depending on if it's something big like Monty Cook or Pinnacle. So think about where you spend your money. That's all I'm saying. Maybe give Kickstarter a look for the indie press designers and the cool little games that don't have big publishers or big authors behind them. And, give them a look, and maybe spend your money a little wisely. Monty Cook doesn't need your money. Joe Bob, who's producing a super awesome RPG that you're probably going to love, or it's going to fit the genre that you want, probably is producing it and probably needs your help way more than Monty Cook does. And for a fact, you'll be able to go to the game store and buy Monty Cook's book because every game store is going to carry it. It's Monty Cook. Or they'll be able to order it for you. Or you'll be able to order it off of Amazon. But Joe Bob, who's producing steel bikinis and chain swords, you're not going to be able to go to Amazon and buy that. You're not going to be able to go buy that at Barnes and Nobles. You're not going to, he may not even have the capital to put up a website so that you can order directly from him after the Kickstarter. Kickstarter may be his only option to get those funds to get that book printed. And, you get the PDF and you go, wow, this is a great game. It may never see the light of day because you chose to spend your money at, on one of these big names, Kickstarter, Monty Cook or Pinnacle or Ulysses Spiel. And don't get me wrong, I love all those game companies. I'm hopefully getting ready to play in a Numenera game with my friend Darren. And I'm very excited about it because Darren is an excellent GM and Numenera is a really great system. Gods of the Fall is one of my all-time favorite settings of a game. I love Gods of the Fall for using the Cypher system. I think it's a great concept and it's a cool game. And I believe that was not a kick. I don't know if that was a Kickstarter. I think they just posted that and, and it came out. I bought it in the game store. That's how I got it. I bought it at my favorite local game store in Beaumont at Book Stand. So anyway, that's what I'm just saying. I wanted to bring the Fantasy Ground Unity Kickstarter to light May 1st. Back that if you can. You will be grandfathered in if you already own a license. It'll be a nominal fee. I think it's very reasonable, and you'll get access to the beta. And if you don't already own Fantasy Ground, this is a great way to get in on a new version of the product that's going to have a lot of bells and whistles and be even more powerful than what we currently have and be updated. This game hasn't really had any kind of interface update and program update, since it came out in 2004. It's very similar. I mean, there are some changes and stuff. Obviously, the game has progressed quite a bit since 2004, but it's basically the same game or same application that allows you to play games online with your friends who may live in other states and countries or whatever. So give it a look, May 1st. I hope you can back it. I just wanted to rant about Kickstarter a little bit and give some content to this video. If it's not your thing, hit that thumbs down, scroll on. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me rant a little bit. But if you did like it, hit that thumbs up button, give me a like and subscribe, tell your friends. Let's keep the channel growing. I think I'm at 475 subscribers. So thank you to all that have subscribed. Tell your friends, pass it on. we'll go from there. I'm hoping to be able to start streaming once I figure out this software and figure out what YouTube's doing. I'm hoping to be able to get OBS to stream my Esper Genesis game session. I'm hoping that'll come up here in the next 2 months. By summertime, which is right around the corner, I would like to be able to start streaming my Esper Genesis game because it's getting really good into the campaign right now. Anyway, guys, as always, like and subscribe. Hit that bell to be donged. And remember, Mr. Mean says, be nice. Take care, everybody. Love you all.